Here we go, Season 3, Episode 3 of Between Two Biomes. What's the point, Jack? This week we have a special guest, Tekbud. And please consider donating to Master Blaster's charity by going to betweentwobiomes.com/raffle. Your money directly impacts kids with cancer through the Four Diamonds Fund and Penn State Dance Marathon.
Oh, you know what time it is. So it's a little bit different. We are going to have here a well, let me bring the video up. We have a menage a trois. This is the first time we had a guest on in a while.
But you've used that I think you've used that as a title of a show before, so you can't reuse that as the title. I think we did in season 1.
So I don't know if people recognize the guy in the bottom square here. It is the one. It is the only Tekbud. Tekbud, who is
the giant himself.
Yeah, so he's sporting all his sponsorships here. He's got a GS Pro jacket on. He's got the Golf Plus, and we're covering it all today with Tekbud, right?
You know, the weird thing is he's got B2B underwear on, he said.
And an OPCD butt plug. Oh, no, sorry.
Hey now.
Well, they want this show.
As everyone could tell, we're drinking, right? We're having a couple drinks.
It is Saturday. I mean, it's Sunday.
No, it's Sunday. Hey, Tech, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming on again.
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
I'm joining NASCAR soon with all these sponsorships. So.
Or you could just continue to play golf, because I think the golf logos are getting bigger and bigger too, right?
I think they are, actually. They're a little more prominent in the
Yes.
The camera view of the PGA Tour.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's just jump right into, first of all, I mean, everyone knows that, based on my intro and my, that liquor loosens my lips here already. So I'm going to have a beer today, my one beer of the day that I'm allowed by my doctor because I'm on the blood thinner still. But I'm having a hometown favorite, Blizzard of Hops from Trogues Brewery. One of my favorites. So it's a good winter beer. It's perfect now because there's a ton of snow outside. It's like 17 degrees here. And so I'm having a Blizzard of Hops. So
wait, time out.
Yeah.
Hold on. Stop.
All right.
Hold
the press.
If you're looking at my video and you're like, why does Mashy look all perplexed on here? Because in the last episode, and by the way, we are absolutely grateful that your healing is going in the right direction. So that's awesome. But you had said that your doctor had said you could have a beer every now and then. And today that's morphed into your one beer a day.
Oh, yeah, I guess I should say, no, I'm not having one beer a day. Yes.
I was like, how those blood thinners doing
and I
one
think,
beer a day?
Actually, the last time I had a beer was, so I still have the guys over on Thursday night playing sim golf, even though I can't play. Okay. I had a beer Thursday night, and this is my first beer.
So it is still an occasional, you're not up to one a day.
No, it's maybe 3 a week. Okay.
So next week you get to 4 a week. Is it like every week you had one? So next week is 4 a week.
I'm building up. Right. And what are you drinking, man?
I'm not plugging a bourbon today I'm gonna plug a book, by the way. I made myself my own my own old fashioned, excuse me. I'm drinking an old fashioned with some of the Mitchers that we had from a previous episode. But I'm gonna say, because what I've been doing a lot actually over these last few weeks is less just going out and getting a new bottle of bourbon. I still do that. I still have like 38 bottles of bourbon here. Take one down, pass it around. 37 bottles of bourbon on the wall. I've spent my drinking days, God, that sounds really bad, kind of like learning to create cocktails. And so my wife got me this really, really cool book. It's called The Bourbon Bartender. Okay.
All right.
And it's by Clay Risen.
Oh, please tell me this is a book of just bourbon recipes.
It is just bourbon cocktail recipes.
I gotta get me a copy of that.
There's probably hundreds of them, from the Alabama Slammer to warm hot toddies to, all kind, like everything. And then there's like 7 different types of old fashions in there. And so I've been actually taking some of the bourbon that we have, and my wife and I in the evening when we're on a cocktail have been making these different cocktails out of this.
And that's perfect. If you get a bottle of bourbon that's not great, you can just use it.
Use it, put a little simple syrup in it, put a little bitters in it, and you have yourself an old fashioned, And so that's what I've been doing. It's been actually a ton of fun to kind of create some of these cocktails and see what some are better than others. So anyway, great book in case you guys want to expand your bourbon cocktail horizons.
Nice. So, Tekbud, on this cold, wintry Sunday, what's keeping you warm right now?
Beer.
A cold truly.
Yes.
Hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That's awesome.
The only thing that matters is you're sharing it with friends, right?
Exactly. So we have a little secret. We've actually, and you'll see that through the course of the show today, we've spent more time with Tech over the last couple of weeks than we have in the last couple of maybe months leading up to it. And all I want to say before we get into the rest of the show is it's been a ton of fun. Like I've had a ton of fun with the interactions that we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. So,
well, I've had a ton of fun because it's stuff that I can participate in because my sim golf is not happening right now. So what we were able to do the past couple of days, and we're going to share what we did in the show, has been a nice break for me. So I have to thank you both for doing something that includes me. So I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Of course. Absolutely. We are all about inclusivity here at B2B.
So let's have a little fun first, right? And Mashi, I don't know, like we talked about this pre-show and you didn't have a good answer yet. So I'll go first, then Tekbud will go, and then I'll give you a little time to think. Because in pre-show, when I said, Tech, we're going to do this, he had an answer in like 2 seconds.
Okay, good.
And you didn't have one yet. So
my answer was, I don't remember yesterday. How am I supposed to remember this? So I'm still thinking.
So the bottom line is, like, occasionally we do this where we get to know like us. And so today it's like, looking back on your life, what was the most embarrassing moment you ever had, right? So for me, and this one always stands out for me, I was a freshman at Penn State, main campus. And there's a place at the main campus, it's called the Forum. And it is like this building where the classes that have like 300 people in, they're inside the Forum. And then, of course, when classes let out, the area outside the Forum is packed with people. They're hanging out by the street. There's like a little quad like there, and there's people walking around, crosswalks and everything.
Okay.
And as a freshman, I'm riding my bike to class, and I'm going right past the Forum. And there's a bus pulled over letting people on and off, so I go to the left of the bus to pass. Well, this guy comes around the front of the bus and just doesn't look, and my handlebar clips him, okay?
Oh.
And I go, ass over, whatever the saying is, ass over teacup over whatever, heels over head, whatever, flipping down the street. And of the hundreds of people standing around, everyone just goes dead silent. I have like a book, my backpack rips open, a couple books go flying out, and like I'm laying in the middle of the street. I'm completely fine though. Thankfully I landed kind of on my backpack, but I just slid like 30 feet, and everyone just stands there and stares at me. Like, and it's
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I get up and
you didn't get hurt?
Fortunately, I did not get hurt. I had like maybe a couple like strawberries on me, but honestly, the adrenaline and the fact that I stood up and everyone just was like mouth agape looking at me was like, and all I could do was like, I'm okay. walk back to my bike, which was not rideable because the handlebars were bad. So then, worst case is I had to put my tail between my legs and kind of like walk away with everybody watching me. So
I had a buddy who was riding a bike for the first time in years. He said he was just driving out of his neighborhood, riding out of his neighborhood, and cute girl was walking on the other side of the sidewalk that he decided he was going to peer over and look at, hit a curb, went over both handlebars, and broke both arms at the same time.
Oh,
you
both
lucked
of
out.
you have heard stories in my life that I'm not sure which one to tell now. Oh my God, I have so many.
Yeah, I was just fortunate. I didn't hit anything. I just kind of flipped and slid down the road. Now, if I had hit like a person or a vehicle, I would have been in big trouble. But
I got two quick ones, right?
all right, here we go.
Popped into my head immediately.
All right, cool. Here we go.
So the first one is I was in, I want to say 8th grade, and we were at like a award ceremony, and everyone's getting silly awards. My award was like best PE student. So I go up on the, because I was good at like all kinds of different little sports. So I go up to the stage, and as I'm walking across the stage in front of like 350 people or something, I trip over a cord and go first.
Header into the
best gym student. Oh yeah.
That's not dissimilar from mine.
It's not. Just a little added irony. And then the second thing that happened to me, I was on a Boy Scout trip, and it was I think 6th grade, and there was the whole camp was over here, and it was a giant like hill, like a slope, and then we had not like a porta potty, it was like a wooden, like I don't even know what they call it. It was almost like a little mini cabin, but it was the actual bathroom that everyone had to use.
Yep.
So I go in, I need to do my business, which is extra business, and I'm getting ready to be done. I grab the toilet paper, and it slips out of my hand, and all I do is grab the end of the roll, and it rolls off down the hill.
No.
I don't know what to do, right? I'm like, all right, I'm sure no one's seen this. And then all of a sudden I hear the chuckling start. I get back to class like the next Monday, and my teachers, Mr. Hodges, is talking about, roll of toilet paper that I released. Good stuff.
Those are good. Those are really good. And both of you have I was really drawing a blank on this, not because I don't have any embarrassing moments. I have more than I can possibly remember. But you both have spurred, I have 3, but I'm not going to tell one of them because one of them is work related, and I'll save that for much more alcohol on a much later day. But the first one was oh my God, I just forgot them all. Ty, what did you say? What was yours?
I was on the bike in college, crashing in front of everybody at the.
Yeah, I just forgot mine now.
It sucks getting old, doesn't it?
I forgot it sucks getting old. I completely lost my train of thought. What was my?
So something I said must have reminded you of something. I was at school, a bunch of people, and crashed on my bike.
Tekbud, what was your first one?
Also, it was tripping on the stage.
Yeah.
While I'm getting the award.
So I'm gonna give you an embarrassing dumbass more than embarrassing. It was embarrassed as well, but dumbass and embarrassing. And maybe my other one will come back to me while we're talking through it. But mine's I remember what it was. I remember now. I got it. All right.
Bear with us. Bear with us as we humor Mashy here, everybody. Okay.
I am really the cocaine.
Cut this part or no?
Yeah, the cocaine is really not just kicked in.
So much for one take today, right?
So, this is really, really embarrassing, but I'm going to say it out loud anyway. So anyway, I'm a young lad. I'm probably in college age, and it is golf related, but it is. So I'm on a golf course in Austin, Texas, actually in Round Rock, Texas, and playing with an older guy. His name was Joe, who was a really cool guy. Played a ton of golf with. Like hang out at the club. He's one of those guys that's at the club all the time. He's at the course every day, and we're out playing together. And we're in a cart, and we were driving up to a long, the farthest away from the course you could possibly be, but it was driving up to the green on a par 5. So we both had hit our shots, and we were both up kind of near the green. So we're gonna go all the way up to the green and then walk back to our shots to play our third shots up to the green.
Yep.
And I am dumbass young kid flooring the cart as fast as I can go down the path, and right as you get to the green, the cart path turns to the right, and so I whip in and pull to the right. My friend Joe in the passenger seat goes flying out.
Oh.
And he lands and he catches himself on the ground and breaks both wrists.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Older 60-year-old guy breaks both wrists. I felt like shit. It's stupid, embarrassing thing. Got him on the cart, got him back to the course, got him to the hospital, got him all taken away. Like, just one of those dumbass kid, move. Didn't intend to do anything bad, but completely embarrassing moment. Like,
Oops.
yeah, oops. He was great. He didn't blame me. I blame myself fully. He didn't blame me for it. He was like, no, I knew you were going to do it. I just wasn't prepared, blah, blah, blah. But it was all good from that standpoint. But yes, the man didn't play golf the rest of the summer.
Ouch. All right. Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah. But it was embarrassing. I tell you.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on.
All right.
New courses. All right. So there were, light week. So here we are in January, where I thought, honestly, we'd be like prime season right now, going up to the 10, 15, 20 courses. Quiet week, honestly.
Quiet week. Even last week was quiet until the very last day.
Yeah.
And then it popped up.
We're going to get punished soon because there's so many courses in beta right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So many courses in beta. So we had 3. We had Settlers Ghost by Pina in Ontario, Canada. We had Essex Golf and Country Club by the Golf Boy, another course in Ontario, Canada.
Yeah,
and then we
he's
had
been up there a lot lately.
Yeah, and then we had Gainfield Farms in Southbury, Connecticut by Ambient Golf. So congratulations to you guys to get another. We've got to be up to 730 something courses, I think.
Something like that, yeah. 733, I think.
I'm going to be upfront. We don't have any MPALs this week. Okay, and just break the news to people. And I want to say, like, Pina, your courses are getting better. Okay, absolutely getting better. There's if you want to reach out to us, we're happy to talk to you about courses. If you're like thinking like what, if you watch the show and you listen to the show and you want to talk to us about courses,
she does.
Happy to give some feedback. So
she does. Listen, Pina, I want to tell you, I thought your sat shader on the course was you did a really nice job. And I know we spent a little bit of time on your last course talking about sat shader. Looks like you taken some of that info and put it to use, and your sat shader looked really good on that course. So nice improvement from course to course on that. So nice job.
Yeah, I had one of the things I noticed, like the outer, I think needed some work. It seemed like I was kind of floating on an island a little bit. So even though you have flat courses, sometimes you do need to put some assets just a little bit more around the perimeter, even if it's just like a lot of trees in the distance.
Yep.
Lift them up a little bit, just to get a little bit more depth to the outer.
That was, it's funny you say that. We didn't play these together because obviously you're not playing in the sim.
Yeah.
And that was the exact same feedback that I had. I wish that the outer needed more work on it because there was just too much leftover sat. Put trees there, put some hills there, do something, even though there may not be some hills in the background there, but it just breaks up the eye a little bit and it gets rid of just looking at a satellite image that's on a flat terrain out there.
Yeah, you can even take these Nature Manufacturer, I think the Meadow Pack has those rolling hills. You can take those and actually flatten them out even more to get a little bit of that feel.
And just tone their shaders down. I find those Meadow Hill shaders really lime greenish, and I
100%.
always make them much darker. Yep.
Yeah. But if you just put trees on them, then it covers that up anyway.
Yep.
Golf Boy, I think you need to really concentrate on bringing more browns and yellows and blues. And I say browns, yellows, natural color, browns, yellows, and blues. in your course, you really concentrate, I think, too much on the greens. Your courses are very green; they're very saturated with green. So just go for a more natural look. Like look at when we talk to Tekbud today in his course. Look how the browns and the blues and like the background all blend into that. So just think about just think about varying your colors a little bit more outside the comfortable green that you work with.
So what's interesting is I've seen his dad post on some Facebook groups some pictures of a dinosaur. I think it's a kid's course he's got on his Patreon, and with dinosaurs and stuff. And I thought from the images I saw, the colors on that course looked really, really good. So I think I know you're capable of doing it. And if you're using website imagery for
Yeah.
your reference point, every single website image on golf courses specifically is oversaturated. Those colors are never that color. They're always overdone. If it doesn't look like your backyard, well, mine's covered in snow, so not now. But if it doesn't look like your backyard in summer, then change it. Like that's what it should look like. That was the advice that Cook gave me when we were doing 3DG and colors. And he was like, if it doesn't look like your backyard in the middle of summer, then update it because you're making it look too green, too saturated.
Yeah.
Skip the image and go find a video.
Find a video.
Videos aren't oversaturated, and you'll find some more natural. Grab a screenshot from a video, and that'll be more of a natural shot to work.
I found people post their own pictures like on TripIt and on Pinterest, and those are not saturated website. Those look good too. Yep.
Yeah. So Tech, you've been doing this probably twice as long as I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did you when you started? I would assume that you had to retrain your eye as well and get away from that. I think we're so inundated with these oversaturated pictures. You go to look at TVs and they got the brightness turned way up.
Yep.
How long did it take you to learn that, or do you even remember that? You've been doing this for so long, right?
Yeah, I think I learned it yesterday. No, I mean it honestly, it's one of those things that I guess I'm not great with the colored green, and I don't think most people are. I think they tend to overdo it. It just you tend to think okay, what do I think a golf course looks like instead of
right.
What does a golf course actually look like? Because you want it to pop or stand out, and it's real easy to kind of fall back into that category. My wife is a photographer, so I'll go back to her a lot, and I'm like, honey, please verify, and she'll be like, it's a little bit too much, it's a little too yellow, it's a little too this. So I utilize that for sure. I think you're always kind of in a work in progress, and I think, man, your monitor can be a problem. You could have a calibration issue with a monitor and not even know it, and you're releasing something that it looks good in front of you, but it may not look good on someone else's screen.
Well, the other thing too is funny is I actually, and I don't know if Tech, I don't know if you can do this just for the sheer volume, of course, that you normally put out, but I get the course where I like it on my building PC, and then I load it up in the sim and go play it in the sim, and just to get a look for what is the projector going to look like, because the colors are different on a BenQ projector than they are on my 4K monitor here. The saturation is different, the colors are different, everything.
Well, absolutely, and you got a lot of these projectors are not super highly calibrated, and they're all in torch mode, right, to get as much brightness as you can out of them. And so that even makes it even more saturated. And so again, what may look fine on your projector may not look very good on someone else's.
It's funny on that. So I think Ty, you and I, Tech, I don't know what I think you might as well, but Masta and I both have the BenQ 936 projectors. Tech, I think you've got one as well, if I remember.
I do now, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I found the golf mode on it
it's horrible.
So oversaturated. It's horrible.
It is bad. It is bad.
Yeah,
I didn't love it. I thought the greens and blues were just way too overdone. But again, is that because they were basing that around,
I feel like they crowdsourced it
to play in high, bright rooms.
Right.
And I think that's what it was. Because if I go into if I turn off my lights, I even did that on my video about it. If I turn my lights on, it doesn't look bad. But if I turn my lights off, I don't like it at all. and that's where I go back to a more natural setting.
I mean, and it's an amazing projector. So I'm just saying that one mode is a
Oh,
little
absolutely.
bit overdone. The
But
projector is
you still have to, every projector has to be calibrated for your room and your settings.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like it's never going to be perfect.
Which, hold that thought, because there's a post of the week where we're going to talk about this again.
Okay.
Pretty fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I had a really
So
fun
anyway,
post.
good courses out this week. We didn't have any MPOWs, and just a little bit of feedback for a couple of you guys. Great progress. And can't wait to see what comes down the pike in the future.
Yeah, and I don't know if Ambient Golf listens to the show, but feel free to reach out to us as well if you're looking for a little feedback. All right.
Yep.
So,
either one.
So we don't have any MPALs, but we decided to do is, so everybody should know, Tekbud has probably one of the most coveted Patreons out there. I mean, if you're going to join a Patreon, like his is like, you get some really quality courses. Jack's Point is something that I've heard people talk about this, right? And it's funny because people post about it and they talk about, well, where is this? Well, it's behind Tekbud's Patreon. And so when we were playing this week, I said, hey, are there any courses in your Patreon we should talk about? He said Jack's Point. So he sent it to us. We loaded it up and we decide we're going to take some screenshots of this. And I'm going to tell you, let me move our video out of the way again. So first of all, this is in New Zealand. And as soon as someone says New Zealand, I immediately like, oh, this is going to be freaking amazing, right? And it is. So this is, and when we talk about like photoshopped, this is definitely off the website. We've got some Photoshop work, but this is a real photo of this course.
Yep.
And it just, I mean, I think this is where Lord of the Rings was filmed, on this golf course, right?
It probably was. I mean, they did a lot in New Zealand, so there you go.
Yeah, I mean, between the snow-capped mountains, okay, the lakes, the vegetation here, I mean, so I want to say Tekbud. So first of all, this is on your Patreon. How did you end up deciding to do this course?
Yeah, this course has kind of a long story to it. So it's funny, I've got this book sitting right here.
Another book. Here we go. This is like book. We're like in a book
it's
club.
A book week.
It's a book club.
It's a book forum.
Hold on. Let me move our video back over so people can see us. All right.
Remarkable golf courses.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. So I got this book a couple of years ago, and I'm kind of become hooked on these. I have another one here called just Golf Courses. It has just incredible photos. Actually, this one has a 4-page cutout of Whistling Straits. Anyways, it's amazing. Cool. Anyways, I saw it in there a couple of years ago, and I thought, gosh, I would love the opportunity to build that one. And then I had a client actually ask for it.
Wow.
And
you got paid to build this, not just like.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold
on. No, stop. Okay, go ahead.
And then turns out that it was already in Run Pud's queue.
Oh.
So he already grabbed it.
Drama. Yeah. Here we go, drama.
This goes back prior to V4 being released. So he had actually already started. He had splined it on V3, I believe on V3.
Okay.
So I asked him, I said, do you have a client or is this just for fun? And he said, well, yeah, this was just for fun to put on my Patreon.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I mean, that's a great idea. Can I pay you for the work? And so I did. I paid him for his splines.
Okay.
Sure. To go, because I had a full paying client.
Yep.
And I really appreciated that, and I think I've done the same thing, in Averse or for other guys. I mean, it's just.
And I think that's what's really great about the community is that you guys you compete, but you don't, right? I mean, you guys
understand. And I was gonna.
Exactly.
I was going to say the same thing. Like, and Pac-Man and I had a situation. It was a situation, but we had a thing where he had a course on that he was commissioned to go build on the spreadsheet. I actually had also put the course on the spreadsheet maybe a little bit later than he had put on the spreadsheet. Didn't realize it. In different naming or similar naming, but courses are little, golf club versus golf course or whatever. I mean, basically, and I was doing it like for fun, and it turned out that his client bought it as a basic build, So he sent me his stuff, and then I improved it because I was going to do a much more, much deeper build than he would have done. As you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So his client was fine. Like
his client got a premium build out of a basic
basic,
right?
yeah. But
Yeah.
Pac-Man didn't actually have to do all the additional work, but he shared the work with me. So us designers do tend to get along really, really well when those things pop up.
Yeah, and I want to make sure people understand. I mentioned Patreon earlier. Like, this is a premium. Like, all the patrons are good. Let's face it, they're all great.
Yeah. No,
I shouldn't say that this is like they're all great.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. So unfortunately, my client backed out.
Oh.
So here I am paying for someone else's final course that I'm not going to use. So it sat there, and then so what I do is I know some of the guys do a free monthly drawing for a course on their Patreon. What I do is a quarterly course, and I've done this from the very beginning, where my patrons vote on a course and that way. The way I look at it is
the more of them want it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I want to make everybody happy, not just the one person, and generally that tends to make one person happy.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Unless they happen to live on, Wingfoot or something. You know what I mean? Like, but that, that doesn't happen too often. So I actually, basically just added that as a course. Like a few people like volunteered, or nominated some courses last quarter, and I added Jack's Point along with it because I still wanted to build it, and I still felt like it was going to be an amazing course in the game, and so it won overwhelmingly. So that's why it ended up, as a premium course just for the patrons, not for our client build.
When did Jack's Point land on your Patreon? When did you launch it?
It was finished in November, early December of last year.
Recently, it's a recent ad.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
It's my last quarterly course that was picked. Okay. My first quarter course that was picked this time around, and this kind of goes back to show how helpful everyone is to each other, was Pelican Hill, which is out in LA, right where Kobe Bryant used to live. And it got chose, and the LiDAR data it didn't cover the entire course. And so Stingray, he reached out to me because he used to live out there, and he had looked into it before, actually, and he said, I might have a different source, and he found me a source, and we got the LiDAR for it.
That's
so
great.
Again, that's another way that guys are helping each other out.
Yeah.
Steve's awesome. So that's my quarterly course for this quarter. I haven't started that one yet.
Nice.
Before we go too much further since we're talking books, if anybody is looking for a good golf book, in addition to what Tech has, The Quotable Golfer is an absolutely fantastic golf book by Robert McCord. Like my favorite, before somebody asks, like smart ass Master Blaster's gonna ask, what's your favorite quote out of it? It is the very simple one-line quote, and I'll see if you know who said it, which is the more I practice, the luckier I get.
I don't know.
Gary Player.
Okay.
There you go. We have a book. It's a book episode. I have about 25 golf books over there.
I was looking around for a book because I feel really stupid now because I don't have you can see some. They're on my shelf, but they're all like technical books. So
Cisco.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
It's all Cisco technical books.
Yeah.
Trust me. All right. Sorry, I digress.
All right. So let's dig into this course a little bit. So I went in and I took some screenshots and actually poked around. So this is the driving range. So you immediately come in here and New Zealand is in your face with these amazing mountains.
And
what's really cool is, Tech, you did a good job of, not only do you have like the fog, but it's moving really quick too. So it's like kind of rolling off of it. And I think I remember seeing someone post like on Facebook an image of that rolling off. So it just really gives you like this mysterious feeling of being in New Zealand. So really cool.
I love it. I like the clouds too. Like a lot of folks. I mean, I've seen more people do clouds.
Yeah.
I think I started that trend by sticking on Bear Dance. Was the first course I think that came out with some rolling clouds. I could be wrong on it, but I'm seeing more and more in that. But I love of having some of these particle clouds moving in the background, because they do give a depth to the course that you just don't get with the standard GS Pro lighting and the clouds in the background.
Yeah,
for sure.
Gives you a lot of depth. So then first hole, here we are, and I immediately started like checking out everything here. And so obviously we got the mountains again, we got the beautiful grasses here, and I, looked at the mini map, and I want to ask you guys this too as well. When you design courses, so this mini map looks amazing to me, right? You got a lot of contrast here. You can see exactly where the fairway is. You can see where the rough is. You can see where the deep rough is. And I often had struggle with this, and that after I load my course up, I look at the mini map. I'm like, crap, everything looks
it's all
the
one
same.
color.
Yeah. Tech, do you consider that at all when you're designing, like what things will look in the mini map? Do you adjust to make it look good in the mini map, or you kind of like, oh, I got lucky?
No, I don't. And I guess it's just the difference in contrast between the fairway and the rough that ends up that way.
Now there's no sat shader on this, right?
Oh, it's all sat
Is
shader.
it?
Tech, you only do sat shader. You don't do anything but sat shader.
I don't think I have done a non-sat shader course.
Yeah, well, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
But
actually, the course of the dead may have been non.
Yeah. That's right.
That one wasn't.
Well, that's because the default texture of we don't have a blood default texture for the
right. Well, that wasn't even based on a real course either. So where's the sat shader come from, right?
No, that was. It started with a real course. Yeah.
Ah, okay. All right.
I took a real course and I made it really hard, basically.
Well, because you got a tee at 300 yards, and the tee is 300 yards above the hole in the par three.
That dooming tower of death.
But Master, I'll tell you, so the course I'm currently working on, and I pinged you to get some of your artistic views on it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, the video flyovers of the course are taken at a time where the fairway, the rough, and the mountains are all really green.
Yeah.
So I made it that way, but then on the sat shader, on the mini map, everything was one. It wasn't enough variation, and I found that when I went back and put the mountains and the deep rough all kind of like dead color and brown, it made the course on the mini map stand out. I wasn't intentionally trying to do that, but I did it, and it looks better both in the mini map and in real life than everything being one color all the way up the mountains.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes the overlay is just bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a bad starting point, and for the most part, when it's bad, what I'll do is I'll go basically black and white on the overlay and just pull the contrast up, like brightness up, contrast up, and then I'll import that into Unity, and then I'll just add colors directly.
Just add color to it based on your field. I've done that same, and I'll just add like the hue in Photoshop, because then you can really tweak the colors of the Photoshop hue a little bit.
I don't love that. Obviously, the better your overlay is, like the better the overall product can be, or at least the quicker you can get it there. That's that's really the hard part, is how much time do you want to spend?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a funny shot. You bring up this wall. If you pull up, I want to say it's the Resident Evil 4 remake. Okay.
The same wall.
Game, you will find this wall, and you will find many things that I've used. It's like,
it's funny that you said that, because so you sent this course to us yesterday. I started looking at it this morning, and then I brought it up, and I saw this wall, and I was like, ooh, that wall looks like something I'm trying to do on one of my projects right now. I zoom into it, and I'm like, son of a bitch, I downloaded that exact same texture this morning and found it. And then I reached out to you and I said, is this from Quixel? And you're like, yep. And I was like, yeah, I found the exact same one today.
But what did you use to make this wall that long and that repetitive without it looking repetitive?
That's just it's just the same wall 50 times.
It's the same wall 50 times all lined up. Got it. Okay.
Now if you move out, you can see some repetitive in it.
Got it.
And our eye will pick it up, and you can even see it a little bit, like this stone right here, this stone right here,
that stone. And you planted that using you used VS Pro to plant that, or did you put that in Auto Fence Builder and plant it that way?
That's all manual.
That's all manual. You put everything in manual.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to line it up with the top edge, and then on 15, it's the same wall on 15, and more of that on 15.
Now, what I'm trying to do, and this might be a tip for everybody else, is, and in tech, let me know if you did this or not. This wall, and I think there's a mossy side and a not mossy side. You could.
I hate the other side.
Okay.
Why don't they make the side? Both sides should look similar, and you can just turn it around and get but
I agree.
Yes.
Totally different.
So that's what I haven't really played with it enough. I was flipping them 180 to see if I put in that non-mossy side every once in a while, if it breaks the pattern up a little bit. But I haven't really.
It doesn't look right because
it doesn't
looks
look
so
good.
different.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
hear you. And then you have some really cool, like you did a really good job with the rock formations in here. So I think what you've done here, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that the big rocks here, this might be a prefab, and then you just have a bunch of smaller prefabs kind of placed randomly on it to kind of break it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Nature manufacturer rocks.
It's another Quixel item as well.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the Quixel item.
There's so much stuff in there in Quixel. It's a HUD. I just can't believe they offer that for free from Epic.
Quixel has so much stuff for free. It's great.
Yeah, it is fantastic. I go there it's like my go-to spot. But these look so good. I mean, I just love, and then God, even like the way you did like the moss on here, like matches that stone wall. Everything just comes together so well. Yeah. And you had that eye for like
it's fun. I mean, you start to like get the layers, right? You get the underlying layer, then you get the you get the different grass textures, and then there's also there's paint around that as well, like on the actual there's vertex painting, and then there's additional rock. So you add all those layers together, and it really comes together nicely.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it. You can see right there on the top. You see the dark dirt that's on the rock, and then on the go right and go down a little bit from cursor. Right there. Don't go right up.
Yeah, there's some underlying textures in there.
And then left. Go left. Right. Go left. Right. Down. Go down. Go down. Right. Go right there. That whole dirt area, there's a dirt area with stones in it, and then there's grass growing on top of it, then there's rocks on top of that, and there's moss on the rocks, and you see these layering on top of the rocks. And then, again, this goes back to the earlier conversation we were having about saturation and colors. If you look at the top where the dark, deep, rough grasses blend in with the fairway, it's beautiful. It pops, right? You can see your fairway and your rough pop out of there, and it all blends nicely. And no one color even though they're different colors, no one color stands out as off, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's something you guys have really gotten really good at pointing out to people, and because that's a hard thing. Like you think fairway, you think, oh, that's got to be a lot greener. It's got to be a lot more saturated. But when you actually kind of take almost a fuzzy look at everything, like kind of make your eyes go fuzzy, the colors really aren't that different.
Right.
Yeah. And that's really the hard part about the artistic side of it. That I just, I'm learning every day, and at Golf Plus, I'm working with, studio artists, and I'm learning a lot more from them, to be honest. I mean, they're so talented at what they do.
Yeah. And if you look at this purposefully, you can see that there's this like fairly green piece or asset here that is, if there's not much of it, so you can see where my mouse is right now up close, that one, and you can see it littered throughout, and that's, to me, is what ties it into the fairway and doesn't make it look so abrupt and blends together, is that you have a similar color. So you got the fairway out here, and then you have that one asset that is kind of littered throughout that I think ties it together.
Yeah.
Just another shot of the rocks here. I think this was another hole that I looked at, which is, just
I love that tree too. It's really cool, weird, and I had to go back.
Did you make trees? Did you get tree? Where'd you get your trees?
It's a Speed Tree 9. I used Masta's process to pull Speed Tree 9 back into our solution. So thanks again to him for creating that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you're welcome.
I wouldn't have figured that out on my own.
Cool. Awesome. And then are you are you doing Blender work now? Like, have you chomped into the
Yeah,
CE Sim Golf? Like, all right, dude,
yeah.
I'm gonna do my bunkers in Blender now. You're doing it now
welcome,
too.
welcome to the
I couldn't.
blender pool. Welcome to the
It
blender
looks
side of the
it
pool.
looks so good the way you did it, and I was like, I gotta figure this out. And I've actually started. Yeah, I've started drilling into Blender on the Golf Plus side a little bit too. So
I tell you what, once I got over some of the navigation and control, like how do I do things with keyboard shortcuts in Blender, the rest seemed to fall into place to some degree. I'm still slow with it, but man, I remember some of the early videos that Justin and even John Meyer had put out, and I was like, you're hitting so many keys, I don't know what the hell you're doing. So
and the thing, and this is so silly and stupid, but until I realized it, I couldn't I couldn't go past it. Was the idea of XYZ coordinates
yes,
and which way to go when?
yep,
Like and it's so dumb now that I look at it, because if you just look at the freaking little
it's on the
map
upper right of the
thing,
screen, same
it
thing.
tells you which way to go. But like I was sitting there trying to figure it out on my own,
Yep.
and like it was always like I would always go the wrong direction, and I'm like, you know what? Just forget. I can't even do this. This is so stupid. But
I'd love to find a way, because the one problem that I've run into is I did a ton of Blender work on the course I'm on now, and then realized I ended up having to go back and do a little bit of train work, and then brought that back into Blender, and then I had to redo the Blender. I don't know enough how to take items I've made in Blender in one Blender, and then I now have a new Blender because I have terrain updates and bring them
yeah,
in
Yeah.
and
Well,
copy it over. I'd love to figure out if we can get rid of terrain. Like, I know we need it to get the terrain, but like drop the terrain numbers into Blender itself, and then just do all the work in Blender. Do the leveling of the bunkers, the carving in the bunkers, and do the leveling of the tee boxes, and do all of that in one Blender file, and not do it in terrain and bring it into Blender. If that makes sense.
yeah,
I don't know
I
if you
know.
can or not.
yeah, I think what I think is really entertaining amongst all this is that so when I first came into the community, um, there were like it was DPR, Justin, and I think it was only like those two guys that were doing any type of serious Blender work, right?
Yeah,
And then a few of us started getting into that, and then there were a couple of us that started doing clubhouses. I took a Blender course. I started in clubhouses, but no one really still did Blender work for meshes. And then then you started having some people come. He had CE Sim Golf come on, and he started doing those pictures of his bunkers. And
yeah.
then he released his videos. And now I feel like all the yellow guys, the veteran designers, everybody's doing Blender work, right, in their courses. And it's really interesting how this how we've shifted and things
Right.
have evolved.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, it is. It's so funny. You're right, because Blender used to be like for
Oh,
objects. Like that way, you have clubhouses and tee
you
boxes, or
you brought the stuff in the blender, you conform your meshes, maybe you added the bridges, and then
Yep,
you went into Unity, and then that was it,
yep,
right? You know,
yep. I'm spending so much more time in Blender leveling tee boxes and creating walls and modifying terrain to make it match the videos much more closely,
yeah,
than I ever have, and it's
yeah,
great. I actually enjoy it.
yeah. It's making it's making my job difficult making videos because I'm still telling people how to dig terrains and things. And like I'm thinking in my head, oh my God, I can't if I have to start teaching people how to do this stuff in Blender, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind.
Yeah, leave that to CE's
Leave that
advanced
to
Yeah,
CE
messages.
Sim.
I'm
Yeah,
good with that. I'm good with
Yeah.
that. All right. Yeah. So this was 15 now, and this is where Tech you went crazy. I don't want to say crazy, but like, the wall here is just so much
yeah,
fun. Like I'm
yeah.
looking back at the tee box, and you can see this wall that is like a retaining wall right here. And this is not the green. This is like retaining the fairway. And then the
Correct.
wall comes out of the ground, and it's like a divider between like you're teeing off like right down over top of this wall. Just a really cool hole, and man, for you to drop all this and like plant these all by hand is like a lot of respect there, man.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I mean, that's like the whole, and it was from the other angle, but it was that and the fences, the walls and the fences and the mountains that really caught my eye on this particular course. Just stunning. And I had never seen a hole like that. You know what I
No,
mean? Like It's just a wild looking ridge.
Yeah, it's just, and then this is another shot of this is a par three, downhill par three. You can see the flag right before the water, but just this huge lake out there, just pristine, just beautiful.
Yeah.
This is one where you need to be over the ball to get a little bit more of the perspective down on the hole. Because as you're further back, you kind of lose a little bit of that, but it's a beautiful hole for sure. And the next one that goes down the hill line to the right from here is stunning too.
And then this was 18, so this is about halfway up the fairway, but I always like the catchers, some good, blender work in the clubhouse. So on the right you see the flag in 18, so this is kind of a view over this lake looking at the clubhouse.
Cool finishing hole, really tough, like 480 or something, par 4 is long.
Yeah. And then I just love the walkway over to the clubhouse. Pretty cool. Like you can just imagine yourself at the end of the day, that final walk.
Yeah, if anyone's interested in I was actually shocked how many people had played this course. Like people kept telling me, "Hey, I've got a trip planned," or "I just was there," and I'm like,
"Wow,
how many people are getting to New Zealand these days?" I'm like, that's amazing. But if you go look for YouTube by Luke Kwan, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's I think he's a pro. He plays on different tour. I'm not sure he's on the PGA Tour. But he did a series on this course and literally called it like his favorite course in the world when
it's
he was
beautiful.
done.
It's on my bucket list for going to New Zealand and playing. I'd love to go there, and I'd love to play this.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
Stunning place, that's for sure.
All right, so that was Jack's point. Now you have another course that's kind of like you're putting the finishing touches on, which have you done? So this is a fantasy course that you've done here, right?
Yeah, so this is again kind of like Course of the Dead, where I took a course and I liked it, but I wanted to my thought process was if I had unlimited money to spend on a golf course, what would I do to it?
Right.
Just to make it like whatever, just different, stunning, amazing. And that was kind of my thought process going into this one.
Yeah.
I've played this course. I won't tell anyone what it is, but I've played it. And it also beat the living tar out of me. There's like 13 lakes on the course or something. I've played it twice and it just ate me up. So that's why I got the LiDAR originally. I got it like 18 months ago or 2 years ago, and finally decided I'm going to do something with it. And just that was my.
Now, was this one that you decided to do on your own, or was this another vote that your patron did?
This was just for fun for me.
Oh, nice! A nice passion project. Nice.
Yeah.
So it's called Serenity Lake, right?
Serenity Lakes. Yeah.
Serenity Lakes, and this is not on your Patreon yet, but coming like how soon?
This just hit.
Oh, just hit.
Just hit this afternoon, and I already have an email saying you can't download it, so maybe it didn't.
It almost hit. It almost
hit.
So here's the driving range. Okay.
So pretty.
It's
so nicely done.
It's like if they moved Augusta to New Zealand.
Yeah, I was obviously going for a bit of an Augusta.
When you were sending me over all of these screenshots, I mean, for me, it felt a little bit like I tried to build this and I can't. There's a course in Aspen, Colorado, right in the mountains, in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. Aspen Golf Club. The thing is covered in beautiful flowers. It's immaculate, and you have all the mountains all around you. And it reminded me of that. My daughter played her state tournament there last year, and it was it's a beautiful course. And this reminded me of that kind of same feeling,
Yeah.
All I know is
I do so many courses that I try to hit spot on the way they look. You know what I mean? To replicate.
Yeah.
So on this one, I just wanted to kind of just let's
your
be
creative
free with
juices
it a
fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to be the intern that has to stack all the balls on the driving range. Inside joke.
Hey, those are tough greens to hit too. By the way, that's going to be an interesting driving range.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I was thinking it would be a good target range. Like if we, I would love to have a good target driving range to work on yardages to specific greens close to the pin.
Well, someone just posted in the Facebook the other day best driving ranges, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So here's hole. Which hole is this? Is this hole one? I don't. Or do you know? Maybe you don't even know off the top of your head.
That's a great question that I do not have the answer to currently.
But it's
it's a weirdly routed course where it's really sprawling, and the hole you think should be 1 in 10 are not.
right.
So I get confused every time I go back into the thing, to be honest. I should have rerouted it just to make it easier for myself, but I
There's
didn't.
definitely a ton of water. Lots of bulkheads on here as well.
There's not a bulkhead on this course in real life, so that goes to show the work I had to do
Yeah.
to flatten everything to get the bulkheads in place.
So this is like a semi like I don't think it's an 100% island green. There's like a bridge kind of like I think in the back of this one.
Yeah, there's some bridges.
But water.
Yeah, lots of lakes.
There's another one.
I mean, this is
backwards.
I don't even want to say this is risk risk reward golf. This is risk golf.
Yeah.
there's not. I mean, there's so much precision shot making needed on this from what you showed us,
and it like I said, it's not really my game because it just beats me up. In fact, you know how we were talking about our most embarrassing moments?
Yeah.
One of mine happened on that tee box that you just showed because I topped it about 30 yards right in front, right in that lake. In a tournament, no less.
Oh no!
Yeah. Good stuff.
And I take it that that has to be the clubhouse, and we're probably like looking at 18, or maybe actually you said it's not routed as you think, so maybe we're not.
That is actually 18. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The clubhouse there.
And then, which leads us to kind of the other thing we were up to with you recently, and I guess we should give people an update in case they don't know. So you are actually working now for this company which does golf courses in Oculus, and they're
right.
It's called Golf Plus. Now, what's the name of the company though?
It's the name of the company is actually called it's ProPlot. Is that right? Oh, now that's oh no, I'm in trouble now.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But basically, if you got an Oculus, and I shouldn't say Oculus, it's Meta VR now, right? They don't go. Do they still use Oculus?
It's Meta. It's Meta VR.
It's Meta VR.
Facebook or Meta bought Oculus, so it's Meta. Yeah.
It's Meta. Yeah. So if you get a Meta headset, you can play Golf Plus, and you can actually play courses that Tekbud built inside there. So how many courses do you have in this platform right now?
Okay, so I work with a team. So it's a group of us, design team of 5 of us, and I started in October. Working full time for them. So we've worked on St. Andrews, Kapalua, and just now releasing Riviera.
Okay.
We've got some, more in the pipeline, obviously. So that's become my full time job ever since early October.
Okay, but you're still like you're full time, but you still are taking on some clients, right? You're still taking a few GS Pro courses, not the volume you were doing before. You're still maintaining your Patreon, so like outside of this, and I take it, are they like they're cool with you kind of doing like the side, moonlighting?
Yeah, so they, I mean, that was part of the kind of arrangement, right? Is that they found me through, my website through GS Pro. So they have a simulator in their office in Austin, and they play GS Pro. They played it for the last year, and they ran across, my name on a lot of courses, and they, found Tekbud Designs. They went to my website. They submitted a form, and we got to talking. I consulted with them for a couple months, and then, became the full-time job. And basically, they're just golf nuts. Like, Ryan Engel, my boss, co-owner of the company, they just absolutely love it. They love golf. They love tech. He's a developer at heart. So it made sense for him to, get into a business like this. And it was like 10 employees or 8 employees like a year ago when they signed an agreement with the PGA Tour. And they've, just blown up really since then. I think we're up to 25, 26 employees and potentially hiring some more.
Yeah.
So there's a if you ever fly on United, you can watch them off United, but if you ever fly on United on their entertainment system, it's one of my favorite things to watch is Adventures in Golf with Eric. I remember Eric's last name is Eric something.
Andrews.
Eric Andrews, yeah, exactly. And they go like 30-minute episodes or so, 20, 30-minute episodes, and they go to the weirdest, coolest, out of the way golf. It's all golf related, okay? They did a whole episode on Golf Plus and on virtual golf. It wasn't half the episode was Golf Plus, half was just virtual golf in general.
Right.
And they went to their offices in Austin, and one of the courses that's for free is based off of an Austin Muni course, Jimmy Clay, that I've played a bunch when I used
Which
to
is
live
where
there.
the two co-owners met, just playing around the golf all day.
So there's a whole episode that you can watch to learn about these guys. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you watched Full Swing on Netflix.
Yeah.
One of like the last episodes was the Rory episode, and in that episode, Rory plays Golf Plus with Ryan Engel, who's the
head. Yeah, he's the head. He's your boss.
Yeah. So it was weird the way it all kind of came full circle. They're on Unity. So
when are we going to see you playing golf with Rory on Golf Plus?
Well, it's funny that you say that because like one of my first things that I got to work on was Riviera, and I was like, does that mean I get to go meet Tiger at his event? I mean, I'd be okay with that. I'd be fine.
I'm fine. I take one for the team. I'll go.
By the way, Golf Scope is the name of the corporate company. GolfPlusVR.com is the actual.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had to correct that. Pro Putt so it's kind of a funny story. Ryan started with a device that was it was an app on your phone. It was on an iPhone that would like assist you with reading the putt. So you could like basically place the phone and you could choose your ball, choose the hole, and it would read the putt for you. That was his first entryway kind of into the app market, and that led to Meta, and it led to the solution that was created for VR, and obviously it's taken off since then.
Well, let's get into it. I want to show them what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. It's been fun.
Well, yeah. So I mean, we obviously heard through the internal, the OPCD Discord that you were going to golf. So we said, oh, we got to get it together and play. And you said, anytime, guys. So we took him up on it. Now I'm going to show you guys some screenshots of us playing in here, but I want to make this perfectly clear. Okay. I took screenshots, and I'm on my headset. I took screenshots, and the screenshots always come back as a 1-to-1 ratio, and it does not, I would say, give you at all the immersiveness there. Like when you're in there, you see the terrain and everything around. Everything's 3-dimensional. So these screenshots are, to me, they do not give it any justice whatsoever. All right. So I just want to preface that when we go in here and I show you guys this. So the other day we played Kapalua together, and this is a shot of Mashi like chipping down. And I'm going to say this definitely took some getting used to, right? Because I would say as much as this is immersive, which means I have a new appreciation for the hills at Kapalua, just how much there are hills there. But at the same time, like you're just swinging a controller, so there's no weight behind the club. So it took a little bit of getting used to with that. Yeah. So I would say as much as I would love, I think if I'm going to go play a course, if I could play in here first, it would be one of the best scouting pieces of this. But I would say today, the way we play, this isn't going to make you better at real golf. Right?
No, I don't know. I know I think until there are some golf accessories where you can put your controller on the end of the stick and get a little bit more. I do think until you're, and I'm assuming this may be their vision, but until you are swinging a full weighted normal club,
right?
Then is it going to translate onto the real life golf? I don't know. I will tell you, I came up with a new appreciation for the size of my sim room, because I think what people don't realize, or I didn't fully appreciate, was it is truly full 360 immersive. I really don't have a feel for where I am in the room as I am on the course. Like you pull the trigger when it's your turn to line up to your putt, and I still have to turn around to go, oh, the flag's over there.
Yeah.
And I did that. Oh, the flag's over there, and there was a wall there. I was like, oh, I bumped the wall with my finger. So
Yeah.
And I'll say a couple things to this too, because that was my take before I started with Golf Plus. In fact,
All
the
right.
first meeting I had with Ryan was, I said, I kind of feel like it's goofy golf, like it's going a step backwards from GS Pro. I said this to my boss,
from
right?
a golf.
And he's like, try it. He just said, try it, and then buy an adapter and try it again, and then raise the difficulty and try it again. And so now I'm playing, pro, and I have been playing with an adapter until I hurt my shoulder. But it is not easy.
Oh no,
No,
it's
it's
not
It is
easy.
not. It's
very
not
difficult,
easy.
especially on pro, because we're playing amateur or whatever, and it's not it's not pro is like if you are 4 degrees open, you're 4 degrees open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like GS Pro playing on more like a casual mode.
Right. Right.
And that part will make you. There's no doubt that it will make you better, especially around the greens. I think short game putting with an adapter that's similar weight to an actual club will make you better in those. Now, are you playing at those speeds outside? Maybe not, but it's just like GS Pro. Are you playing at 11 speed outside? Probably not.
I
So
100% thought the putting was much more realistic though, because I could. I
Well,
thought
it's
that was
funny.
spot on.
It's funny, man. When we played earlier today, before we recorded here today, and then you dropped to go upstairs because it takes you 20 minutes to go from
Yeah.
from downstairs to upstairs. And Tech and I kept playing a few courses, and he was like, "Listen, dude, use two hands to putt.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
trying to putt with one hand." And as soon as I started using two hands to putt, my putting was much better. Tech, you can verify. My
Oh,
putting was much
he actually
better.
made a birdie and beat me on two
I
holes.
made a
Oh
birdie and beat her on
jeez.
so,
I know.
So I agree. I do think, but I also am not sure about teeing off with a light controller with one arm just swinging.
Well, for
And
sure. Yeah, if you're just
yeah,
doing this one arm with a light controller, then your mileage is going to vary, obviously. But it's one of
exactly.
these things. Like if you take it a little more seriously and you get an adapter
Yep.
with some weight to it, I think it can help. And it's been proven. Like a lot of people talk about how much better their games have gotten based on it, and then others just play it. It is a video game. Let's face it.
I think
You
you
could
get
probably
out
say
of
a
it.
lot about the same thing in GS Pro. A lot of people talk about like I don't think my game really got much better when I got GS Pro, uh, because it's the same, but it's still very different.
I
Maybe
agree.
I'm better off the tee, but I'm not better because I hit off a mat. So there's always there's
Yeah.
variables there.
Right. Right.
I also feel like, and I've had people tell me this about GS Pro and about simulator golf in general. I think you get out of it what you put into it. Okay.
Sure.
If you go into it thinking you're playing a video game and you treat it like you're playing a video game, then you'll play it like a video game. If you go
Right.
into it where I'm going to try to play it as realistic as possible, and I'm going to try to get something out of it, you'll get more out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I tell you, so back to this, the gameplay, and I think was really the social aspect of this was amazing in that we're all in there. Unlike GS Pro, where you have to go to Discord and join a room, in here we're automatically talking to each other, right?
It was easy. It was a great
Yes.
It was a great experience.
Not only that, but I can walk around to the like Mashy's putting, and I can like whisper in his ear. Like I can stand behind him and basically smack him in the ass. Now he's not going to feel that.
Dude, that was the best. First off, never mind. First off, that was one of the coolest things about it. Not just the golf, but like when you were teeing off or Tech is teeing off, I can go down on a par 3 to the green. Literally, I just use my controller. I can go down to the green and watch your shots come down to me.
Yeah.
And then Tech said it the last time we played, and I didn't even really click until this time, which was put yourself behind your ball. I literally could move myself behind the ball and then look at the line on the green and look at the undulations of the green and line up your putt.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we were talking about like we were getting out of each other's way. So I would go up to my ball and I look back and I was like, oh, I'm standing in Mashy's line.
Exactly.
Or you could be my son who goes into giant mode and lays down in front of you so that you can't even see the hole. I mean, that's the other thing.
Right. And I got some screenshots of that. So, oh, gosh, we're not even. So this is so Tech. I was cracking because he's got that's Tech with the Blues Brothers outfit right here.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is another shot from Kapaloo, and you don't get it. It feels so much more undulation. You see it here. You just don't capture it here. And this was hilarious because what you're looking at right here is the other day when we're playing, mashing. You got to understand that this is a GPU intensive action for your Oculus, so it's just chewing up battery. And Mashy's headset was dying really quick. He didn't have a battery pack, and all of a sudden his battery dies, and his avatar here just goes head first, and he just goes sinks into the green. And I look over at Tech, and I'm like, I think Mashy's gone. And there he is.
Gone.
It's just that's him just laying head first on the green.
But I think there's some really interesting things though, like they do billboarding of trees like we do,
Yes.
and they do, and up close there's fewer trees because it's mobile, but there's fewer trees that are in lot 0, and but they do billboarding of trees. They do the rough far away. Actually, to be fair, the rough farther away looks a lot more lush than 3DG does.
It
by
does.
The way it calls it. But up close, our rough looks much more rough. And I'm not trying to compare the two; they're two different platforms.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
but I'm trying to show that. But with
Now,
a
if we could run Golf Plus on a 4090, we'd be in good shape. Right?
And that's exactly right.
That's
Exactly.
right. You have you're basically working, I think, on like an Android mobile platform. Essentially, is what
exactly
you're
right.
working with.
Yeah, exactly. So then with today, and this is what's really great about playing with Tekbud, because he'll load any course for us. So there is, you can either do a subscription in here and you get access to all the courses, which is a pretty good deal. It's like $15 a month and you get access, and any new ones come out, you get access to them, or you can purchase them a la carte, right?
And they have tours. They have a whole tour series, a tour you can join. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if you get to play with Tekbud, he'll load up any course you want. So we jumped into St. Andrews today. So in this shot, I'm in giant mode. So it's just really cool. As you go into giant mode, it blows you up to like, I don't know, I feel like I'm 75, 100 feet tall, and you can like walk around as a giant in this course, and you watch the guys play. I'm looking down at those guys putting at this point, right?
Yeah.
But you can also
and your voice as a giant gets really slow and deep, and our voices get really fast and high. It's hysterical.
Yeah. And then Tech hits one into the bunker, and like this is really cool because he's standing in there, and I was purposely actually trying to hit a couple in the bunkers because I want to see what it's like. But you can totally get an idea of like how deep these things are now. And you turned and you had to hit this left to get out of there, just like in real life, right?
Yeah.
I'm above looking down. I actually positioned myself above the bunker looking down at him right there.
Yes. And if you're wondering, yes, we don't have legs in here. They don't give you legs. You kind of like float as an upper torso, which is
not yet. Not
yet. It'll get there eventually. And you might think that's a little bit weird, but you get used to it really quick. And then just before I dropped out, I said, all right, guys, let's pose for a picture. So we went over to the bridge. Those guys stood, quote unquote, stood with no legs on top of the bridge. And I just wanted to get like the buildings and things in the background and take a picture. So this is a picture of those guys standing on, the bridge on the old course. So.
But Golf Plus, you guys are licensing all of this stuff. It is St. Andrews. Right. It is all you have licensing from the PGA Tour. You're able to actually use that's great.
Yeah, it's fully licensed, and so like tour events that are played at like as an example, Pebble Beach coming up for the Pro-Am, all of the stands and the logos and everything have been added for the event or will be added for the event. Bay Hill will have all the stands populated. Riviera that just got finished or will be finished and released like tomorrow. It has all the Genesis stands around and everything. So it does feel very like you're in a tour event, and let me tell you what, 10 at Riviera, it ain't easy. I don't care. I don't care if you're on VR or not. That green is ridiculous.
And you guys get PGA LiDAR, right?
Yeah. For the events, I mean, evidently the PGA does the Tourcast LiDAR annually, so they redo LiDAR, prior to the event. So it's super duper accurate.
Super, and up to date, right? I mean, gosh, sometimes that's half the battle.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, and I would think it would make sense because you would think a lot of courses after a major or after a tournament, then they put their changes in, right? That they're going to go implement.
Yeah,
So
like Eastlake as an example, they're tearing down Eastlake or making a bunch of changes right after the tournament ended, and they expect us, at the end of the year to have all those changes in the game.
in the game, yeah,
I want to say, what is it? Valhalla is the PGA this year,
Mhm.
yeah,
so
it
they
is
just went
Valhalla.
through a renovation. They've got major changes that are coming that'll be incorporated into the Valhalla release when it
That's great.
comes out later in the year.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
That's
it's
awesome.
just fun. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I like I said, I tore my rotator cuff, and I haven't really been able to hit a ball. I think
Yeah.
I hit a couple pitches one afternoon, but I haven't really been able to play in months, and it's really gotten me through that period because I mean, I've played it a ton. I just love it. My kids play it. My dad plays it. We can all play together. Um, my dad can hit, a 280-yard drive when he can
Yeah,
usually only
right?
hit it about
Yeah.
180 yards, so that makes him happy. And it's just fun, and you get to experience golf. It's like it's kind of the way I look at it is like it's putting yourself into a tour player's body. Like, all right, now I can hit it solidly every time, but can I play golf? And that's it kind of like it forces you to change your perspective to more of like a strategic player and where do I need to miss this and you can't short side yourself in
Mhm.
this spot because I'm
Right.
dead just like you would be on tour, and that to me it's just cool.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. I thought, like I said at first, uh, I wasn't gonna love it, and I do. I'm
I thought it
absolutely
was going to
hooked.
be, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was going to be fun and kind of quaint, I guess.
Yeah.
And was really surprised at just how much fun that I had when we played Kapalua, and
Yeah.
was frankly blown away with the immersiveness of it. And you know what I mean? Like it's not, because it's a mobile platform, you're not getting 4090 level graphics like we said, which is fine.
Right.
But I think the graphics that are right around your shot that you're seeing are really good,
Right.
and it really brings to life the the undulations of these courses. Like on
Yeah.
Kapalua, we were on the green looking up at the on number 5, I think it was, and the whole the shot coming down there. I mean, I think we commented like, "Holy crap! I don't think I realized it was this
Yeah.
much of a drop."
Yep. Yep.
Well, and I've even seen it. I was reading an article or a blog post the other day where somebody had posted like this long, uh, explanation of Golf Plus, and it was actually just like a member in the community, but this was on like a golf architecture site. And Tom Doak responded to the guy and was like, "This could be really good, like going forward for like architects,
Mm.
and there's huge opportunity there just because." In a 2D world on that flat screen, you lose a lot of information.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
now I feel like if when I go play Pinehurst number 2, which I haven't done yet, I already feel like I know where to hit it and where not to hit it and where to
Mhm.
be and where the trouble spots are versus GS Pro. It looks beautiful, right? But I don't necessarily know. I can't miss it there because you just can't see those
Yeah, you just can't
undulations the
quite
same
tell.
way.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right.
So
So I just want to say thanks for letting us play with you on this, and I
Yep.
100% we got to do this again because it's a lot of fun. So appreciate
I'd
it.
love to keep our weekly games that we've been doing
Yeah,
going. It's been a
especially
ton of
since I can't play
fun.
real golf right now. Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
So we got a couple of feature requests this week. One is historic shot data in game. So Mashi, this was, I think actually you guys both seemed a little bit passionate about this one. So Mashi, explain this one.
Well, for me, it was really no more than I would love to see GS Pro keep track of. I don't know if it's my yardages or my scores or everything. Let's just say everything. Let's just say Nirvana would be they keep track of every shot that I do on all the courses I play and just keep it going. And I get it, it's a lot of data, but it is what it is. Keep it locally on my machine or whatever. But I would love to. Let's just say I teed it up on, number 1 at Sanctuary, since it's my course, or Tex on Georgia Golf Club. I'm a number 1 on Georgia Golf Club, and I smoke a drive. I would love it to pop up and be like, "Hey, that's a new personal best for you on this hole." It knows that I played this before. It knows what my previous drive was before, and it knows that this is better than that. So boom, here's a quick notice. Now, I don't need video game flashy cool. I just want like, hey, congrats, personal best on #1 drive. It reinforces my work I've been putting into my game. So love to see it. I mean, it doesn't have to be on every shot, obviously, but like I would think tee shots, maybe total score. Like if my best score is a birdie and I eagle it, it pops up and says, hey, this is the best score you've ever had. I don't know, but at least tee shot for sure is what I was thinking.
Yeah, and I think that kind of like rolls into the next feature because the more I think about it, the more it's like these are all the same things. Like when I was playing a lot on GS Pro, I enjoyed the tour, right? I mean, that was the fun part because it's competition, and I played in the weekly tour events. I enjoyed playing with others, except for the fact that it just takes a long time, and that was always kind of a problem for me. I enjoy playing by myself, but I would rather, if I could play by myself, have some level of competition that's happening while I'm doing it, whether that's beating my best score on a certain hole or beating my best
somebody
tee shot
else
on a
or
certain.
Yeah.
Exactly, and the more of that, like that keeps you coming back to play rounds and to compete against yourself, kind of like a ghost mode where you play against your own ghost, right? I mean, that kind of it all is. You're stepping back. That's really what it's all getting to. On the Golf Plus side, they have a mode that's very similar. You know, it's a quick mode. You can play, by yourself, but you're still competing, and I think that's still the part that would be a really nice add.
Yeah, and like the ghost mode would be like, I would love to be able, like, I want to play the ghost of Bob Chung. Like, I want, like, for example, I want Bob Chung to play around at Medalist, and then I want to be able to play against him on that round without having to get him into score and play him. I'm playing his pre-recorded round.
Or you said Bob Chung, and this would happen quite a bit, which is, you have the tips records, right?
Yes.
Is just
I want to compete against that round. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
So
I
you
want
go
to
in,
compete against that round.
you decide to load up the, you can go into SGT and you say, I want to compete for the tips record. And then when you go in, the first thing you do is you go up and you see the other guy just tee off and where it went, right?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yep. I agree. I think there's overlap between the two. But I would love, and I think Tech, your point is where I was going, which I think is the most important point. GS Pro is trying to be the most authentic golf simulator out there, right? And so I use it between my Unicore setup with my EXO cameras and my lessons. I use it to try to improve my game on a regular basis. And the one thing I'm not getting from GS Pro is that reinforcement that my work I'm putting in is yielding results when I play rounds. I don't have the only competitive round I have is to play on the tour stuff, but even unless you're doing dog fights or some of the others, you're just playing your own round. You know what I mean? You're just playing your own.
Like if you just loaded up a course, would you know what your best score on that course was? I mean, I guess you could go find it, right? Because it keeps track of your.
Yeah, I could probably go to the website and go find out.
Well, that's if it's an SGT, right?
Only if it's an SGT. If you just load up your own local
play. On the course, can't you click on the course and see your previous scores?
Yeah, you can see that there is a historical. You can see the previous scorecards in there. Yeah, you can do that. But it's only.
Would that be the same course at the same settings, or would that be like a different setup?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it shows you the settings.
Right? It's just a little too cumbersome. Like, make that a little bit easier. Like, I want to see, okay, I played this course and I shot 71. These settings, load it up. Let's go beat it. That kind of feel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or even better, Bob Chung.
And then even better, Bob Chung. Exactly.
It's not going to happen. I'll try.
All right, so on to the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
Post of the week. So I have mine loaded up first. So and I'm pretty sure I made these so we can stay on video here, and you can see all your smiling faces as I start to reveal these. So this was an interesting one, which was can you imagine if SkyTrack could pick up soccer and baseballs off the tee, and there's software for that? Now, granted, this guy heard it through the grapevine and he didn't believe it, but So I guess you'd pick up your SkyTrack, put it on a stool right next to the ball, load it up in the tee so you can pick up it off the bat. Have the laser on the ball. I don't know how this would work with SkyTrack. I know like
Well, it's
Foresight can do.
multi-sport, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to.
I
They
think
want
Foresight
multi-sport
can
with
do this, right?
SkyTrack.
Yeah, I think Foresight does this, right?
Can Foresight do multi-sport? I know some can. I don't know. Can Foresight do multi-sport?
I thought they could.
I
Maybe.
think one of them can.
Now,
yeah.
One
not
of them can, maybe.
the Hawk can do
Hawk?
it, I believe.
Hawk can
Yeah.
do it.
But
Makes
not
sense.
the
Hawk
new.
makes
What's
sense.
the one they just released, which is between the
Falcon.
Hawk, the Falcon cannot though.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
But boy, talk about like if SkyTrack could do that, that's a serious lifter, right?
Yeah.
Hey, just want to let you guys know that Lind joined the Golf Simulator Forum, the higher end, and he or she, I'm assuming it's a he, is interested in simulators.
Is interested in simulators.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
to know, Lynn. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Cool. Yeah.
Hey, Lynn. Anything else on top of your mind while you're at it? I mean, happy to walk you through it.
And by the way, if anyone's up in Connecticut can help Damon, he needs some help setting up GS Pro. So I'm going up to Connecticut this summer, so when I'm up there, I'll be able to help you. But
we're gonna send Soupy up there. Soupy, hop on a plane, head up to Connecticut. Damon needs some help.
Yep. So we're there for you, Damon. Don't worry, on our way.
We got you. We got your back, Damon.
Now these drive, and this was I said earlier when we were talking about like calibration of projectors and everything. These drive me freaking nuts when someone wants to see a picture. Hey, take a picture of your 4K setup, and some people take a picture of your HD setup so I can compare them. Oh my God. What do you think? And I know people aren't that technical, but there are so many variables here. I mean, between the camera you're taking a picture with, the lighting that people are doing, the only way you're going to get a good comparison is to go someplace where they have an HD projector here and a 4K projector here. You got the same lighting setup, the same computer, the same everything, and then you can compare. Other than that, guys, yes, 4K is better than 1080p. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Well, and it's even like the hey, and I get it, but like there's a whole discussion on Facebook about I'm going to run it in 4:3 at 4K. You're still doubling the pictures over 1080p.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
even on a 4:3 resolution, you're doubling the pixels, so it will be better and sharper. Like, okay, come on.
and then people say, well, you can also say that even if you have a crappy like archery net, HD to 4K is still going to be better. It's still going to be better. It's not going to be as good as it could be, but it'll still be better, right?
I mean, native 16:9 4K is absolutely beautiful, but if you don't have a 16-foot wide screen, it's okay. It's still at 50. My screen is 15 feet, not 16. Looks pretty darn good on that 936.
But people, just please stop asking for comparison pictures of people's setups, because I think that's why a lot of people start to say, "I've seen pictures of 4K. Doesn't look that great to me. It looks the same as 1080p."
Well, and you're taking it with your taking it with your cell phone.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And in a bright lit room on a washed. I mean,
I've tried. So before like I had a golf simulator, I was very into projectors for cinema.
Yep.
And I remember buying like an old school Panasonic 720p projector and then buying my first 1080p projector and standing them up side by side with my photographer wife, right? Setting up her Nikon camera in manual mode, exactly the same on a tripod, couldn't move. And in person, the 1080p picture was a lot better, was nicer than the 720, but in the picture, you simply
couldn't tell the difference. Yes, exactly. And that's with
that's with like removing as many variables as possible. You still couldn't.
And then on top of that, even if you took like a great picture of 4K and posted on Facebook, Facebook's compressing it now too.
Yes. Yes.
All right, we beat this one, right?
I used to be in. I have a home. I have a theater. My sim is part of my theater now as well, right? And I still don't fully understand because my theater projector is still a 1080p projector. Okay, it's HD 1080p projector. And it's only 1,000 lumen projector, but you're in a completely black room, so it's probably just fine for a completely black room. And I reached out to the AV guys at one point. I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about upgrading this projector to 4K, and they sent me over some suggestions, and like the cheapest one was $20,000. And I'm like, how can I buy a 936 that's 5100 lumen at 4K, and then they're giving, you know what I mean, at like 4K, $4,000?
It was a JVC, wasn't it?
It was a JVC. Is exactly what it was.
He knows. He knows.
JVC and Sony is what they were playing. The ones that gave me were JVC and Sony, and they were $20,000 a projector. I'm like, no thanks, I'm good.
And they're very color accurate, and they're great in extremely black rooms. But turn on any light and forget about it.
And they're horrible. And it was like 2100 lumens.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. Sorry, we beat this to death.
Yeah. I got a kick out of this one. Like, what's up with this sim setup? Like, there's just so much going on here. Like, first of all, isn't it weird to have like such a small screen like at the end of this long? Like, if you're gonna, there's that, and then
like I don't understand how does he hit wedges?
Look, you got to start somewhere. I mean, I get it. Like my first sim, I used to drag it outside to my porch, and I had an old screen facing the wrong way with a bad projector. I'd hit into a net. So, I get it.
Oh, I get it too.
Tech, this was my other embarrassing story from the beginning of the show, which was my first simulator. Yeah, it did. My first simulator was nothing more than a net, okay, and a hitting mat. And I set it up in the garage in the winter, and I was sitting in my driver, and I was like, man, those drives sound really good. Well, what was happening was the ball was going through the net and hitting the freezer behind the net.
Oh.
So my chest freezer in the garage is pocked full of driver marks on the whole thing because the whole thing's covered. So I get it. I'm with the guy. I'll give him some leeway.
But what about like, what's that big mound in the middle of the floor? And doesn't that scare the living daylights out of you if you top one?
Your projector.
My God,
that's his projector. Yeah, that's his projector.
Dangerous?
Yes.
Yes. That ball is going to ricochet back off and hit somebody. Correct.
And shank one into that. I think that's like metal unprotected piping around the front of it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I like that light. That light right there on the right side of the screen, that light is toast.
The light.
Someone's gonna. That light right there is toast. It's gonna.
I think it's a window, isn't it? Isn't that a window?
Oh, I thought it was a light on a stand, like trying
to. No, I think it's a window. This looks like it's somebody's like garage because those look like tool chests back there.
Yeah, they're like tool chests. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the space. I wish I had that much space.
Oh, man. That's the thing is that's what kills me is he got so much space and he could just do so much more with it. But yeah, whatever.
What I'm envisioning for a sim with a bar and a seating area and a big metal pole, and
he's asking for help. So this is your opportunity.
Hey, buddy!
Himself in the head with a golf ball.
Hey, buddy! Hey, let's hook you up there, buddy. Okay. And this one, I'm just gonna read this in my best voice. Somebody got trouble with East Lake and the two simultaneous bugging damn time.
What the hell?
I don't know. So when I saw this, I immediately thought, do you guys remember the Water Boy and the farmer and the Water Boy?
Yeah. It's exactly what I thought of.
Here we go. Here he comes. This is the guy that made this post.
Okay. Just have the defense run sprints.
So that's where I thought maybe this guy was him. Somebody got damn it to eat leg at you. Time check back at damn time.
See, the problem with I agree 100%, except the first sentence or the first line of the post is accurate. Yeah. It's almost like after the word lake, the booze kicked in.
I don't know. And I should have put in there. I should have put in there because, of course, Amache commented, "I agree."
I agree. Amache's the man. I love when he posts. It just makes me like. I think
he said, "I agree," or something like, "Good point."
Too many words, man.
Yes.
One word. Get
Yes.
down to one word.
Yeah. So this on the simulator golf tour, which is a legit question, it's just like, hey, do you need to play 4 rounds every week? Well, no, it could be 2, it could be 4, but
2,
legitimate questions like, hey, how much time is this going to take?
Yeah.
I love this guy's response because it would be the same as mine, which is just to add, after you blow up the first round, there's no need to play the second.
I was gonna say for me, it's like I blow up a hole.
Yes,
I'm done.
and then you're
I'm
done.
done.
I quit.
I Palmero off the SGT. Like I have one bad hole and I Palmero off the whole thing. I'm done. I'm out of here this week.
And I do. You guys have seen this. I love the post where you could tell that someone rage quit because they went OB, and then now everything after that is OB. Have you seen that?
Yes. Yep.
All right, so we're going to split it. So Mashies are up next, but I just want to, again, give a quick plug for you guys out there to please donate. I'm running a charity raffle right now, and it just helps. It is for the 4 Diamonds Fund, supports research for kids with cancer. It supports family of kids who have cancer. And please, if you're a designer and you watch the show, I've got a ton of video content. I help you guys build courses, over 300 videos. Last month, there were 30,000 views. I do it all for free for you guys. So please just go out, even if it's $20, whatever, just help me out. Keeps me motivated to continue doing content when I see people from the community contribute. So please.
Can we also announce that we are going to be sending? Yeah, we're going to send the next YouTube check from the show to the charity. So 100% of
actually,
the next check
it was our YouTube earnings all the way back from November through today. We're donating to this as well. So we're putting so no bourbon for us right now. We're putting our money into this. So
into the charity.
Yep. So
great. Don't go yet because I didn't add animation to it. It's going to go to us. I only brought one. Okay. I came large this time. I think this one is going to be pretty good. So, ready? Lowest possible driver spin rate before suspect for lubing up the face to prevent side spin. Not asking for me.
Asking for a friend.
Well, obviously he's not asking for him because it's anonymous too, right?
It's anonymous member, so asking for a friend.
Okay, so this is my golf ignorance here. What is lubing up the face?
You can put essentially Vaseline on the face of your driver to help give it additional friction to lower spin rates. The question
is this legal?
No, it's not legal.
No. Okay.
It's completely illegal.
Okay.
It's like football players putting stuff on their hands to catch the ball.
Or the pitchers, getting pine tar, right?
Yeah. But I love that the guy was asking for a friend.
What's the lowest?
What's the lowest? I just want to know, is 1,400 too low? How about 13? How about is 1,000 too low before?
And is somebody doing that into their screen? Like I would not want to hit the ball lubed up into my screen.
Well,
you want to know what the screen's gonna look like after you hit a bunch of lubed up balls?
Then on top of that, so you hit a lubed up ball into a screen. Then what happens when you try to hit like a wedge? Do you not get backspin then?
Well, yeah, you'd have to have a separate ball or something. I don't know.
Okay. You play a different ball. I mean,
okay, I'm glad I'm not being too stupid here. That this just seems rife with issues.
What I didn't grab on this were the comments because they were. They were like our conversation is here. So.
Yeah, I'm sure this went south real fast.
Yeah, hence anonymous and hence not asking for me. That's like the double dude.
The comments went into a couple categories. One category was like Tech said, which is you're doing what to your screen. Another category was asking for a friend.
Yes.
Another category was what does it mean?
Well, I saw this. I saw this. I wasn't really sure what they were talking about, and lubing up the face sounded like something sexual to me. So
that's why I brought it to the show because it's what I needed to know. It fits right into our theme.
Yes.
So that's the only one that I.
That's the only one. So I came with quantity. You came with quality. There we go.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Full circle to the menage a trois.
Yes. Well done, Tech. Well done. Thank you very much. That puts the closure on the show. Here we go.
We're out.
We are out. Thank you very much. Everybody,
Thanks, guys.
enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks, Tech, for coming on the show.
Thanks, Tech.
Anytime.
Appreciate it. See y'all later.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.